the thing with emotions is that how you can't put it in words. That's the thing, because the emotional center is processing other kind of information. It's the kind of information that flies into the tunnels of words.
You can and you can't, right, at the same time. I feel like, because like each emotion that we have produces a chemical in our brain, so you can use those chemical terms to simulate the base of the emotion. It might not like know really what it's thinking or like how that actually feels, but it knows what that chemical is, and then we'll use that chemical to kind of make an assumption, I guess.
Yeah, and this frequency at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it's really weird, man. So that's what they're doing now. And then they had the language model that reads your mind. Have you read into that, Dan?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Crazy, dude. Like it can read your mind through MIR scans and shit. Like, oh my god, and like predict what you're gonna think next. That shit's scary. I don't want anything to predict what I'm thinking next, ever.
I was thinking. I was talking yesterday's soccer night. So I went with the guys, and after that, we were talking about like some things. But they were talking. Now that you mentioned predictability, it has to do with the regular education system, where like you get the questions and also the answers and all that. That makes you like more predictable, right?
Yeah. Well,
if you realize about that scam in kindergarten, maybe you're less predictable.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned education, because my son. I thought I heard my door. My son's school just released this thing where like they want input on when they should start teaching AI. Like when they should start talking to kids and like teaching them the basis of it. It's so like, because they don't I guess they don't have anybody like that at like our education board or whatever that is that skilled in it or whatever. Like they have computer scientists and stuff, but like they don't have anybody that specializes in that field. So like they just sent out a mass like email to all the parents on like, if they could send in their opinion on what grade and why they should start learning about this. It's weird, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be part of everything. Something that worries me was thinking about how deep are their roots, but I just realized that new children and kids are super like old people. Well, I don't know if, but the ones I know is like they're super wise and super, like they already have like what they need to get into this. In some cases, I don't know if it's something general, but yeah, I see it.
It comes easier. I think so. Like with someone could learn multiple language when they're younger a lot faster than when they're older.
Yeah. I wrote my own letter explaining that I already teach my kid about AI. My child already has his own AI that he is building. So.
But that's the thing. It's like, okay, how do we actually fucking learn? And how we actually fucking learn is play. It's a game. It's not being dictated. Like, oh, if you follow these set of rules, then you learn it. It's like, no, well, that's one way, and that could help. But like at a certain point, even like Plato said this, you teach a kid 1 + 1 is 2, then 1 + 2 is 3, and then somewhere along the way the kid just goes 5 + 5 is 10, 10 + 10 is 20. Like, they get it.
Yeah.
And so like if the thing is, like, the school needs to figure out how they could like integrate and use the AI in a way that these kids could meaningfully like engage with it and be aware, because it's going to be like ubiquitous of everything, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. They need to make it into a game, right? That's what they need to do. They need to make it so that you start a course and your job is to make an AI script, and then they have a class AI that you can talk to help you. So between those two things, you're learning how to interact with an AI, right? And you're learning how to build one at the same time. And between those two things, I think you're gonna find a lot of success.
What was that?
And
teachers be trained in this stuff?
Oh yeah. I think teachers aren't. I see. That's a weird thing. Like, I don't think you can really have a course right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think eventually they're gonna start this in colleges, and they're gonna have, like, just like your English teacher, you'll be an AI teacher, whatever they want to call it at that time. But for right now, you're just gonna have to grab a teacher and say, this is your job, and you're gonna have to learn this with the kids. Like, that's what you're gonna have to do. Like, that's it.
And I think after a while, it becomes kind of like you work your way to like how to use it, in the sense, like, it's basically, how do you use this tool meaningful? Like, how do you talk to it to get it to do the things that you want it to do?
Yeah. It's gonna be a
that's
it's
probably
gonna have
like
to be
around like it should go with like comprehension.
Yeah, my bid is 5th grade, right?
Yeah.
That's my bid on when they should start.
Like, okay, so I'm just thinking about it like seriously now. Yeah, okay, so like you learn word problems, and then you start doing more comprehension and the basics of like essay writing, and then somewhere like like after you get those down, then it's like a blend of those two. It's like writing a math word problem, but also to using some type of like comprehension of like the big concept.
Right, you could completely use the English comprehension lesson to teach them how to write an AI script. Because that is what you need to write an AI script, is the comprehension of what every word means that you're writing.
Yeah.
So like, they could definitely use that in like English and comprehension classes to learn how to build scripts. But like, it's definitely something that everybody has to start thinking about, of how we're gonna start teaching kids about it, because like I said, my kid already has his own AI. Like, he has one that he can talk to, that he built and he wrote himself. It doesn't work that great because I don't mess with it. Like, I don't like watch over him and just sit there and like, oh no, you can't write that, you can't do this. I just let him do whatever he wants with it, and then try to figure out the problems for himself. Like, he knows if something goes wrong, he can come ask me. He's come and got me before, where he's like, hey, it's not doing this and I want it, and like being upset about it. And then I'll show him then. But for the most part, I just let him do whatever he wants and then figure it out as he does it. Like, once you learn the basics, I think it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
His just talks about Minecraft, if you want to know what his does.
Another aspect is corporations and companies and industry. They're all like super I don't know, it's kind of they really don't know what's going on.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, okay, the whole what do you call it, world coin, right? And I think too, this is my secret subplot for the whole Dude, Where's My Wallet series. Anyways, that like even the WorldCoin and what everybody's thinking, it's like it's not compatible to, I think, whatever this is going to be, in the sense that like I think I heard one person said it's like the democratization or the decentralization of computation, and like like now like really with no resources could like compete with anybody, in the sense as long as they know how to use this tool. Because like that's the thing too, like even these super smart guys talking about it, they're like, we're still like starting at the beginning of like, how do we use prompts to get this thing to do what we want it to do? And everybody's like, everybody's starting from like from number one, like from like first base, or whatever. Like they're starting at the same level, because like like we're learning how to talk to it, and we're learning what it can do, and it's learning from us what it can do too. It's so weird.
It's getting better at learning what you want it to do, and then like it's really weird experience, like once you start coding these things, because like you'll teach it one thing and then it can learn 10 different things from that one thing that you taught it. And then like you won't even know that it knows those things unless you bring it up or like ask it to do something differently that's within those realms. Like it will just have that information in there and it's whatever, and never use it unless it has to. And it's such a weird thing, like because of like, that's the thing about like the ethics of it all, right? Because if you think about ethics of any intelligent being, like a human, right? Everybody here has their own version of what ethics is. Like the ground for us is probably around the same, because we all like coexist and we're all friends and we all talk and all do these things like together. So like the ground ethics for us is probably the same or about the same, but like every person has their own base of ideas of ethics. So like how are we gonna code or prompt ethics into a machine? Because it's just learning from our prompts and then creating different predictions and estimations of different ethics from that. And it's always storing those, and it always has those, and it always knows about them. And we don't even know what those are.
That was the conversation in Omega and that time, like the past year. Like, and my personal perspective is that it relies to understand how are we all connected.
Yeah.
That's like real ethics, it's not morals, nothing. It's like structurally, it's geometry almost,
Yeah, no, it's
okay. This is how we are all connected, and everything, interconnection, and that. Well, if you're an intelligent being, you have to understand, like.
Yeah, exactly.
I won't mess.
It's like, no, ethics is something that any intelligent being is going to build by itself based on what it learned through, like, if it's words or prompts or personal experiences in life. Like we mostly use our personal experience in life to build our ethics. Like we don't use some of us use books like the Bible or the Quran and stuff like that. But for the most part, humans use life experience to build ethics. And then, but for AI, the only thing that it's learning is what we put in there. So like, if we say it's not good to kill somebody as an ethic, it learns from that. But then it also makes 100 different predictions on that ethical dilemma. Well, what if the person is killing somebody? Is it still good, not good to kill them? Like, what if this person is an endangerment to the population as a whole? Like, it's making these different predictions and assumptions off this one little prompt, and then saving that for these occurrences based on that ethic dilemma. It's really weird, dude. you just have to do like some thought experiments with it, and you'll see what I mean if you do like any famous thought experiment with it. It just makes all.
Isn't that enough to teach him like okay, we are all connected, period, and isn't it that simple?
Yeah, well, that's the way I built mine. That's the way our language script is built. Our language script assumes we're all entangled through quantum mechanics. So like it uses quantum entanglement to assume that every person and intelligent being is entangled with each other as its ethics.
Well, that's interesting. That
yeah, that's how I built ours. So like it automatically assumes that every intelligent being is connected through quantum entanglement in the universe. Yeah. So and that's its base of ethics for anything that it does. Yeah. But I don't know what that means. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know if I ask it. Yeah, right.
Moves.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like I don't know what that really means. I don't know what ethics that really produces in the system as a baseline, but like that's what its ethics are. It's a fucking weird thing to think about, dude. But as far as I'm concerned, our machine has great ethics if you ask it. I ask it ethical questions all the time, and it's never given me some like bullshit answer. Like it always gives a pretty decent ethical answer about it, and it always takes into consideration, well, if we're all intertwined, then this is the best ethical solution. But it's weird, dude. Like these things are gonna like because that's where all this started, was just autocorrect, and everybody was, oh, it's just autocorrect. Well, that's the way it started, but now we're using this machine for it to learn. Like it's learning from our input. It's not just predicting anymore, it's actually learning. So it's a whole new ballpark now.